Donata, thank you so much for joining us. It's so exciting to know that you are off to the Olympics, and you've come a long way since your time at Gateway Primary School. I remember when you joined us in grade 4, being really excited about your swimming talent and seeing that you had potential to go really far. And I just wanted to kind of ask you, did you always have a dream of getting to Olympics, or was it something that as you began to see that there was potential, it came into focus?
I think as a child, like swimming, obviously everyone's goal is to get a gold medal at the Olympics. But I think the longer I started swimming, the less and less I was like, okay, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible. But then now that as I've grown older, I've seen that it's actually pretty, like I'm pretty close to doing that. So it's like I've kind of had an up and down journey with trying to go to the Olympics with really high dreams to now just being able to participate being, such an honor, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant. I kind of thought that you were gonna do big things with your swimming, watching you way back in grade 4. At Gateway, we had some pretty hectic swimmers in the past, the likes of Laura Harvey, and Samantha Welsh. And knowing that Sam, as she started to progress, she was starting to break Kirsty Coventry's records, and then you were coming along and breaking Sam's records at the school. So you could see the potential there. And I just wanted to know, as you began to do that kind of thing, break records, probably not at Gateway, but in Mashonaland galas, did you kind of begin to realize, okay, this is a possibility?
I don't think I ever linked the two, but I guess every time I broke a record, it was like, wow, I'm actually fast. Like the realization that I actually, had a talent. I think that's more what breaking records did for me than to say anything about the Olympics. Yeah.
Okay. And your strength stroke, I know that at Gateway, one of the things that you had to really work hard at is trying to beat your competition from Eaglesville in the breaststroke, but you seem to dominate in the others. Has that changed as you've gone along?
Nope. I still have a terrible breaststroke. Yeah, and I'm still swimming butterfly and backstroke only, pretty much. So yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. How important is your support base? I know that your mom and dad have really worked hard with you to try and push you forward, but there's been other people around you as well. People like Kathy who've come alongside you and walked the journey with you. And then also more recently, other people helping out with those important aspects that sometimes we don't realize when you're not a top athlete are so important, like the extra training that's not in the pool and the diet and that kind of thing. So how important has your sport base been for you?
Obviously training for these games has been so hectic, it's been such a weird experience so far. And I guess I kind of owe all of that to Mrs. Locke, because she was week in, week out trying to figure out, which pool to take me to, who to email to ask me to be able to train, things like that. She was really a central figure in all of that. And she was helped a lot by my mom, obviously, who took me to places, across town and things like that. So obviously, I don't know where I'd be without them. Even the support I receive from like Keegan in the gym, it's all of that comes together and just takes a load of the pressure off, because now I don't have to worry about when am I training, if this person doesn't think I'm training hard enough, because we always have that good communication between each other. And then also my dad at home, who's always constantly supporting me and things. I think my support base is probably one of the only reasons I'm still able to swim in a country like Zimbabwe, where there aren't many girls my age still swimming, because of the people in my life that have encouraged me constantly and taken a load off my shoulders onto their own shoulders. Yeah.
Brilliant. Kirsty Coventry, obviously, getting a gold medal at the Olympics, you said that would be every swimmer's dream. How much of an inspiration has she been to you?
Well, Christy's one of a kind, hey. She did the most at the Olympics. So obviously growing up, watching her and just even hearing about her from the races before my time, it was like, okay, so if someone from Zimbabwe can do it, then so can I, you know. It was that driving that kind of made me feel like it was a possibility, even though I come from such a small swimming community, because someone else before me had done it before. So I think Kirsty was definitely one of the people I put at the top to say that I wanted to be like her, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Brilliant. And, you know, obviously to get to where you've got to, there's been a lot of hard work, there's been a lot of sacrifice, a lot of focus. And I'm sure that that's been quite tough, because you have to cut out certain things in order to do what's required to ensure that you've got the training and that kind of thing. Just tell us about that, because I think that's important for anybody who aspires to follow you in that kind of journey, is that they need to know that it's not just talent, it's hard work.
Yeah. I think the first thing that, like, as an athlete I had to realize was that I am not gonna live like a normal teenage life in a way, you know, like I'm gonna not be able to go out on a Friday because I have Saturday morning. I'm not gonna be able to just make plans on the dot because I'll have training that will clash with everything, you know. Holidays, I won't be able to go away for trips because I'll have like a serious training schedule during the holidays, you know. And I think that's as soon as you realize that, the easier it is like to move on with the sport, because it's like you have to come to that realization. Otherwise, you're gonna hate the sport because you're missing out on everything. And I think also that's where the support base comes back into it. You know, people who understand that, yeah, you have to work hard, but you're not a robot, you know. And I think my parents have done that pretty well, where they're able to sort of balance, you know, hard work and me being able to have a normal, you know, teenage experience in a way. But there definitely is a lot of me not having any free time at all, you know, things like that. But I think I've just come to a place where I'm like, I don't mind it anymore because I know my goals and I'm working towards them. So it's just something that has to happen.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that your friends have appreciated and, you know, kind of stood by you, because that's quite a tough thing, isn't it? So the other thing I want to ask you is, you know, coming through Gateway Primary School as a Christian school, how big a part has your faith played in your journey?
It's definitely helped me in the difficult times, you know, like my mom always tells me God wouldn't have given you this gift if he wanted you to be depressed with it, or he wanted you not to follow through with it, you know. God gave it to you for a reason. And I think that just is one of the reasons that I keep going, if you know what I'm saying. Because I'm like, okay, God gave me this gift, so he's got me. He's gonna do the best that he's gonna help me do the best that I can, to use this gift in the best way possible, you know. So I think that definitely is a constant motivation for me.
Great. Well, just a couple of things that I wanted to still ask you. You were talking about how, you know, your faith has helped you, and recognizing that you've got a talent that is given to you by God. It just reminded me of watching Chariots of Fire. And I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, but Eric Liddell was due to run in the Olympics, and his sister was telling him, no, he's got to go and be a missionary in China. And he said to her, no, God's made me to be a missionary in China, but he's also made me fast. Yeah. And when I run, I feel his pleasure. And is that something you can relate to when you swim?
Yeah, definitely. I can feel like every time I do well, I feel like I've kind of made God happy with the gift that he's given me. You know, I feel like I've sort of accomplished the goal that he set me out to do, you know, because if I make God the center of everything that I do when I'm swimming, I feel like that kind of, you know, makes everything I do for him. So obviously I feel like that makes him happy.
Brilliant, brilliant. And how do you cope with nerves? You're lining up, you're in the Olympics, your race is about to start. Do you really feel it? Must be quite tough, eh?
I feel like like, okay, my first gala out of Zimbabwe, I was a wreck. Like, I was so scared the entire time. But as I've kind of grown older, it's like I only get scared on the block. You know, like when I stand in front of my lane and look down, that's when I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I guess at that point it's too late to kind of back out or anything like that. So I wouldn't say my nerves affect me too much, other than that short moment in which I can just get it over and done with. But I think just telling yourself that you're supposed to be here, you came here for a purpose, you're the most important person at this gala, you know, just kind of makes you feel more like fitting in, especially with people who you know are much faster than you. At the end of the day, you're just as important as the person who comes number one, you know.
Mm. So you said, especially when you're about to swim with people you know are much faster than you. Have you surprised yourself at times by beating people you didn't expect to beat?
Yeah, I think at in Tunisia, obviously at Junior Africa Champs, I went into the gala expecting to do all right, but when I got my first gold, I was like, oh my goodness, this wasn't supposed to happen. Even I had dad about it the other day, and he was like, yeah, you were gonna go there and make some finals, but getting medals, that wasn't on the agenda. So that was one thing I was like, oh, okay.
Obviously, you've got a bit of time as well because you're young. And if you have your first Olympics at this age, there's potential to do a couple more. Obviously, it must have been quite disappointing that things were postponed from last year. But I'm sure that down the line, there'll be more opportunities that come your way as you keep focused and keep going for it. And we just want to say we're really proud of you as a former Gateway pupil. We're really excited for the opportunity that you've got, and we'll be rooting for you. And maybe it'll be like Tunisia. Maybe you'll get up there and go, I wasn't supposed to win medals, but look what's happened. We'll see. But just give it your best and have fun.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. And we'll be following you. Definitely.
Thank you.
Safe travels. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.